We're
Are we
on.
live?
We're live.
Okay, sorry. I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at these different systems. If people chat,
we can see them.
we have to look up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Okay.
and that's on this screen. It's kind of distracting having us on two screens, though.
It's a little bit distracting, but I think that if we can check ourselves a bit, then it's going to be okay.
Check ourselves a bit.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if you're
What is
aware of what you're doing and where you're looking and who you're talking to.
Okay, I'm gonna cover up the top screen.
I think I'm going to put a little face on top of that camera, so that I feel like I'm actually talking to someone.
I'm going to put a face on top of the camera.
Yeah, just stick like a.
Well, you know how to do it. You know the secret.
Yeah.
Is to talk to you there. Talk to this.
Yeah, but if I talk to myself, I still look like I'm not looking in the.
Well, I put the camera
Mm-hmm.
just above logistics. I put the camera just above here, so that anything that's in this line, it sort of looks like you're looking at people. Yeah.
Sort of.
So if you ever look at the top screen, which is all the technical stuff, then it's obviously clear that you're not.
I'm not looking.
you're not looking in the right direction. But everything that's here, because we've got the screen, we got the question, we got the tablet.
Still, when you look directly at the camera, it looks more. I mean, there's more contact. You know, you're not looking at yourself, but you're looking in that. Okay. I see you.
Contact.
Oh, Will used to do that. Remember? We used to take two. He had a skipping rope, and he would take the two ends, and he would say, "Contact," and you put them together and go.
Is that from Wallace and Gromit? Or is that something else? It's kind of Wallace and Gromit, kind of.
I think it's from Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. With George Looney doing the voiceover.
Yeah?
Yes. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, okay. Mr. It was funny. The funniest quote I've heard in years was George Clooney going, "Trump, he'll never become president."
Yeah.
That was so funny. And then he laughed like, "Oh, I know what I'm talking about. You know nothing." And then he had to swallow his words like a sword.
And how about that Simpsons episode that came out?
Oh yeah, years ago with him as president.
With the like slightly apocalyptic.
Well, that's just insane. The Simpsons also had like 9/11 stuff, like the terrorist attacks of September 2001. They had an episode about that before it happened. That's just freaky.
That is freaky.
Yeah. So, or maybe we just read too much into everything.
Maybe they traveled into the future and then came back. I don't mean the Simpsons. I mean the people who created the cartoon. Of course, because cartoons can't time travel.
Time travel.
Only people can.
Welcome to the time travel show. Yanka and G are going to explain to you how to solve all of your problems by building a time machine.
No, this is not what we're going to do, people.
You have to come forward because you have to come forward a bit because you're disappearing behind the question.
What?
You're disappearing behind the question.
That's because I'm not that.
Look, that's better. You look more authoritative, taller.
Should I just tiptoe, like for the rest of my life?
Yes, quietly.
Maybe I should wear heels.
Where would you wear them?
I don't know. I have my own pair of heels. Yes. I don't need to wear extras.
This is a more complicated system here now with all of this going on.
So, what are we doing here? Are you going to tell people what we're doing? And
yeah, we're actually supposed to just read a question and answer it, but we're not capable of doing that, are we?
No, we just have to blabber for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. This is how to get nowhere fast. Follow us. Right. Question is, need advice. This is from Facebook. Need advice. Cannot sleep because I'm worried about my 15-month-old daughter. So why do people measure it in months? Why don't they just say 1 year and 3 months?
Because that's measuring in months as well, only said differently.
Oh, okay. Right. Thank you for explaining that. Yes. When are you going to the North Pole? Oh, that was the conversation. Sorry.
After I come back from the future.
See you at 4. Dear. We can't do it, can we? Can we get all the way through a question? She keeps playing with her food and not eating it.
What are you laughing at?
Experience.
Oh, you just remembered all of our kids playing with their food and not eating it.
Chasing carrots around the plate.
And Zora painting yogurt on the table.
Yeah.
Painting yogurt pictures.
Yeah, because it's not food, is it? It's
No.
it's a
toy.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
I brought her to the paediatrician because the pediatrician eat. Sorry. Sorry. Just lost it. Be serious. This is a serious problem. I know. I brought her to the pediatrician, and she is underweight. It doesn't say how much underweight. Could be a little bit, could be a lot. I don't know what to do because I don't want to force her to eat. Why should you force anyone to do anything? I mean, the idea that you should force somebody.
You can't.
Good, right? I feed her pasta, rice, cereals, smoothies. Smoothies are good. You can pack a lot of nutritious stuff into smoothies, and anything else that's easy to eat. She still just plays with her food and picks at it. Oh, we don't have any experience of that. Any advice?
Yes, plenty.
Plenty. Okay. Well, let's go through some statistics first.
Statistics.
Should she have a nappy over there?
No, she shouldn't.
Okay.
She's potty training. You can't potty train with an nappy on.
Potty training, like positive potty training.
Shut up.
Right, I've just invented another term.
What did you want to do first?
I wanted to go through some statistics that I've got here. The statistics are that 33% of mothers feel their infant has feeding difficulties early on in life. So there's 1/3 of mothers have some kind of problem or issue with this in the early stages of the child's life. So the person's, you're not alone, as Michael Jackson would sing.
Almost.
Oh dear. The worst.
That's some kind of different song, but I like it anyway.
I thought I can't do Michael.
No.
I can't do Mike.
No,
right.
you can't. Stick to Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie, the heavy metal Mercury.
That's Freddie.
Oh.
Eddie. Yeah, that famous rock singer Eddie Mercury. No, oh, you mean Freddie? Okay. Oh, we've got a little visitor.
Wow.
Hi down there.
Which one do I choose?
How's
Can I
it
have
going
this
down
one?
there?
Thank you.
Oh, books. Oh, this is really cool. Careful,
Is that one for
darling.
Daddy?
You brought us one book
Thank
each.
you.
That's great. I got a horrible. Can you say horrible geography? Freaky peaks.
And I got Bloody Scotland.
There you
Horrible
go.
histories.
Excellent.
She brought us, but we can read
I
books.
love the front cover of this book, the Bloody
Scotland.
Yes, I love that. The English people saying, we're about to get killed. Except I said that in a Scottish accent.
Bahaha.
I think that's funny.
Very funny.
Okay, book humour. Right.
Continue, please.
Apparently 25% of mothers express concerns routinely when they visit the doctor about the eating habits of their children. So that is 1/4 of mothers talk to their doctor about the problem. And 25% of children will demonstrate habits that are unusual or difficult for the parents to deal with. So what I'm saying is you're not alone, right? With all of that.
Absolutely.
Do you have something you want to chime in with? I'll keep going with a bit more information here.
I have a lot of things. Can I speak? Because when I start, I'm just going to go on.
Well, okay. It's I did my little bit. So
Yeah, okay.
come on.
Yes, you're not alone. Absolutely, this is very common in kids, and I mean, I'm not a pediatrician, okay. But first of all, you have to realize one thing, okay. The pediatrician is looking at some kind of charts, okay. So first of all, being underweight, you know, how much is she underweight? Is she like just below the percentile, you know, or does she actually have real problems? Like you can see that she's skinny, or is she tired? Does she not have enough energy? You know, does she have like dark circles under her eyes, or you know, is she displaying behavior that makes you worried, or is it just the fact that she is not eating much, right? Next thing, your daughter is 15 months old. This is the time of discovery, right? The kids are very, very sensory at this stage, and later on as well still. So she wants to touch the food, she wants to play with it, she wants to explore it, and not necessarily maybe eat it. But, you know, is she breastfed? If she's breastfed, I would not be worried about it at all. Because breastfed children usually get a lot of nutrients from the breast milk, and I know a few babies that were basically exclusively breastfed up until about the 15 months of age, or maybe even a little longer. You know, just playing with the food, not really eating it, because they were getting enough from the breast milk. But if you have like real concern, then what you should do is maybe get the doctor to do a test on iron deficiency, because that's quite common with kids, and that really influences the appetite and the energy levels as well. So check out if the kid is iron deficient. You can put in a bit more iron. If so, you can put in a bit more iron into the food that they're eating. For example, coconut is a good source of iron, right? Liver is a good source of iron. Any red meats are a good source of iron. I don't think that a 15-month-old baby... What's happening?
Something happening in the background.
Jazzy, what did you steal?
Jazzy, can you give the binoculars back to your sister,
stole the binoculars.
please?
Jazzy, can you give them back to Zora, please, darling? Sweetie, she had them first. Oh, God. Right.
Issues.
So what was I saying? Yes, coconut meat. I don't think that a 15-month-old baby will eat meat. Like, you know, give it a chunk of meat and they'll eat it, obviously. But you can mix it. You know, you can make like a creamy vegetable soup, carrots, parsnips, meat, and you can just cream it all together, and that's quite nice.
Yeah, apparently, in studies, 78% of children have picky eating habits.
Yeah.
So this is almost 8 out of 10 children are very selective about what they eat. It just doesn't mean in any way that they're selecting bad things. It just means that they're selective.
I have read that it's a part of evolutionary, you know, kind of system of what do you call it? Self-preserving system.
Where you put yourself in a jar.
Survival system for babies, right? They don't like to eat foods that they don't know, right? So, darling,
have a look at it,
those are
Jazzy.
conkers. Just take it off and have a look.
Have a look. You can take the bag and have a look at the conkers.
So it is completely natural that children of young age don't like to try new things. They eat what they know, right? That's their survival mode, basically.
Okay.
And it's completely normal. So I wouldn't freak out about it. What I used to do with my kids is I would let them play with the food, and after they've had their game, right, I would then feed them, help them, you know, take the spoon. I let them eat as much as they want by themselves, which would usually be like one spoonful, right? and the rest would be just playing. And then I would maybe distract them a little bit, feed them a little bit more, just to make sure that they're quite happy. But kids don't generally need to eat as much as we think that they do sometimes.
According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 8 out of 10 children who do have some kind of eating problems actually pick up the habits from their parents. So the habits are already there in their environment. So as always, take a look at yourself first before you analyze your children. Analyze yourself now.
Absolutely. Are you on a diet? Are you stressing about food? Are you looking? Can your child see you and hear you looking at food, thinking, "Oh, I shouldn't eat this." Saying things like, "Oh, that looks good, but I really shouldn't." Because we do that sometimes. I do that sometimes, and I do realize that it's not exactly.
I remember a situation years ago where a parent told me that I can't get my child to eat anything but pizza. And I was thinking, well, surely you're in control of what you give to the child. So
yes, because it's you who actively gives them the food.
If your child is only eating pizza, then you're only giving them pizza, or you've led them down a path to where it's somehow acceptable to only give them pizza.
I see this very often. Moms saying, "Oh, my child won't eat anything else but pasta with nothing and white bread without the crust," okay, or something like that. And I'm thinking that the child will only eat. What if you don't give it to the child, right? Unless the kid has some kind of problem on the autism spectrum, right, where it would create an extreme anxiety if you make a sudden change of diet. I would introduce healthy options, and just like Dr. Laura Markham suggests. She suggests that parents chooses the food and child chooses the quantity that they want to eat.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Okay, so I put something on the table and I don't force the child to eat it. I just say, "Look, here it is." I model the behavior. I say, "Oh, I'm eating these vegetables because they're good and they make me strong, and I like how they're crunchy," or whatever. And the kid can choose whether they're going to copy me or not. Like Zora yesterday, right? I mean, she said, "I'm not eating quinoa." She pushed a plate away, and I said, "Well, okay."
Yeah, and I tend to think it's okay to also let kids. Here's one way to look at it: they can eat a bit now, and they can come back to it later if they want. I mean, don't let them leave it and then give them something completely different, but allow them a bit of a break and allow them to come back to it later.
Zora used to do that. Do you remember? She used to do that. She would eat Zora has a really small stomach. Okay, I've noticed that when I breastfed her, and after when we got from breastfeeding to we went to solids and to other things, I've noticed that she could never eat as much as I thought she would like to.
Okay.
Or I would like her to. So what she used to do was she would just have a few spoonfuls. She would go away and she would come back in 2 hours. And she would be looking for the food, right? So just either leave it on the table or leave it somewhere handy for her, and she would just come back and finish it.
Yeah,
right?
except
so it's fine.
That it is actually quite dangerous to leave any food on the table in our kitchen.
Because G will eat it.
Because I tend to eat anything that good, on the kitchen table.
Exactly. You're like you're good at that.
Like a dog.
You're good at cleaning off the table.
There we go. Just anyway, never mind. Right. What can we do? What can we do about this situation? Okay. So as a parent, you want to try to take some control of the situation, some control of the problem. Begin with observation. Watch carefully what your child does. Observe them for around about a week. Watch what they eat, what types of foods they eat. See if you're... Sorry.
Jessie, can you move over a bit, please, sweetie?
Jessie.
Thank you.
God, she's got right...
Can you move a bit further? That's it. Good girl.
There you go.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
remember,
Before all chaos breaks
when
out,
your child doesn't eat something, don't assume automatically that they don't like it. Okay, because they may not eat it because they're not feeling hungry, or maybe they're just playing. Maybe they just want to play with it. Maybe they just love the texture so much that they're too deep into their play to actually feel the hunger, right? Don't automatically assume that they don't like it. Try to give it to them next time or the time after that. Just offer it to them. Don't force them to eat it, but let it be there so that they can choose to eat it or not. We came up with a trick the other day, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Now,
Go for that.
When we put things in the middle of the table. Now this is with older kids, okay? Our youngest is 2.5, but I've noticed that when I put things in the middle of the table and let them pick off the plates and put it on their own plates, decide what they want and how much they want, they're going to eat more, and they will also do healthy choices. Like Will is more likely to take the lettuce, put it on his plate and eat it, but if I put it on his plate, he's going to go, it's too much, and he'll kind of try to get rid of it. So
the buffet style.
Yeah, the buffet style is great for kids.
Yeah, put all the food in the middle, and with encouragement, allow them to pick a selection.
Yeah, because
of food from.
If you put in healthy choices, then they have no choice but to pick healthy choices, right? And it also gives them the feeling of power, and they don't have enough of that as kids, because everything is being scheduled for them, everything almost is being decided for them. So if you just give them that little chance to decide for themselves, that just means a lot to them.
Absolutely. If you do want to introduce new foods to them, introduce them slowly. Remember, of course, that harder foods are more complex for very young children. And go grab them. It's okay, I'll take care of this. Right. So our two daughters, who are 2.5 and almost 5, decided to walk along the back of the couch, which is which is kind of a dangerous activity for the child, which is 2.5. Of course, she just copies what the other kids do, which is absolutely natural. But it does give you a heart attack from time to time as you imagine the child falling backwards off the couch and maybe slamming their head into something that they shouldn't slam their head into. So I was welcome back to the conversation. So
Hi.
I was talking about slowly introducing new foods, because the harder foods are much more difficult for the younger children to consume. So that's got to be done step by step.
I would like to point out that this is the easy age, okay? This is the right time to build up the basis for healthy eating habits.
Yeah, good habits.
So if there are things that you don't want them to eat later on in life, don't give it to them now, because it is going to be very difficult to get them off it, okay? So if you think that giving them just clean pasta with nothing is a healthy choice, then feel free to do that. But if you are aware of the fact that it's maybe not the best thing, or if you'd like in the future to give them pasta with sauce, right? But you think that maybe they would not be able to enjoy that right now, it's just give it to them the way you want them to eat it later, because now is the time that they are, remembering tastes.
Yeah. Don't expect them
creating the basis for later on in life. So don't necessarily make it easier. Don't underestimate them, okay? Don't underestimate them. Offer them things even if you think that they will not like it. Like, remember Zora and gherkins, right? She was 1 year old and she was just scoffing down gherkins like crazy, and I never thought she would like to eat gherkins because they're super sour, right? But I would never have found out if I thought, I'm not going to give it to her because she will think it's too sour.
Well, when you put the buffet out for them, you get to see what they're attracted to as well. Also, don't expect them to accept something the first time you give it to them. On average, you need to present something 10 to 15 times to a child before they will actually accept it. And then tastes change very quickly. We've seen that with Zora.
And with Will as well. Yeah. He used to love tomatoes. And then around the age 2, he just went, hate tomatoes, and he still can't stand them. Which is really weird.
Those horrible tomatoes.
Zora and bananas. She went on and off bananas. Once she loved them, then she hated them, then she started loving them again. And it's just crazy. So it changes all the time, and nothing is permanent.
I think in the modern world, there's quite a variety of food that's available. So I don't think you need to feel that you should force any one particular food on your child.
But yeah, if you feel that their appetite is not good enough, if you feel, listen to your instinct, okay? if you feel something's wrong, something's off, that she really should be eating more, that she's kind of tired and she's missing the nutrition, then first of all, offer nutritional dense food, right? Like pasta is just calories, right? It's not really a nutritional dense food. But the smoothies are a good idea. Soups, any type of soup, vegetable soups.
Oh, the smoothies, legumes. You can put almost anything in those.
Yes, my kids love smoothies with spinach. I didn't even tell them there was spinach in it. I just gave them a smoothie and we're like, ooh, that's great. And I said there's spinach in it and they're like, ooh, we love it. Right?
Or it's not broccoli, it's small trees.
Oh yeah, they love the trees,
So
and the magic beanstalks.
You can rename it. You can make it interesting. You can bring in other words. You can bring in these stories connected to the food for them as well.
At the age of 15 months, let them eat with their fingers. Let them explore the things. But maybe cut it into little bits that they can use fingers to eat it with, right? I don't know what else.
Oh, I think. Focus on positive behavior, right? Encourage that which is good, that which is healthy for them. Steer away from sugars and other foods that are,
that you don't. I
don't think look, in my opinion, sugar is not actually a food. So there you go. It falls into the category of addictive drug more than it does food. And
well, sugar, right? I mean, there's sugar and there's natural sugar that.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. I'm talking about the processed stuff, which is really crazy. And apparently, I was reading that a lot of brown sugar is just white sugar with color added, which is just insanely crazy. So
if you don't want them to eat something, don't give it to them, okay? Because if someone complains to me that their 3-year-old won't eat anything else but sweet yogurt, I'm thinking, how can they only eat sweet yogurt if I don't give them?
Look, if they're hungry, they will eat almost anything if they are actually hungry. So not all this talk about food is
also
making the kids hungry.
Yes, sweetie?
What's up, darling?
Well, why don't you go and finish it now, sweetie?
Yeah? Okay. That's if Daddy didn't finish it.
Also, apart from... Did you finish your muesli? Apart from having maybe the iron checked, if you have a suspicion something's wrong, make sure that they have enough outdoorsy time, make sure they have enough sunshine. Vitamin B is good for your appetite as well.
Yeah.
In the past, Zora, are you all right, sweetie?
Zora, if you've got a question, Zora, you can ask us a question, but please just don't repeat the same word again and again and again, because that doesn't help us communicate properly with each other. So,
in the past, they used to use nettles. Nettles?
For
nettle tea. Yeah,
nettle tea.
Pick fresh nettles, little, little green nettles, dry them, or even do it with fresh nettles. Just make tea out of them. That contains a lot of vitamin C and a lot of iron as well. And vitamin C helps iron to absorb in the system.
Zora.
So in the past, they actually used nettle tea for kids to gain energy and strength. If you had like a pale, skinny child that was without the energy and you wanted to bring the strength back, you would give them nettle tea because it's really good. So you can try that.
Yeah, show your children what you eat if you have healthy habits, and you need to be
also
a good example. What's
I have noticed a lot of moms does this. They prepare food for their child, let their child eat, and then the mother will eat later, very quickly by herself when she has time. It's a good idea to eat with the child, sit at the table, make it a lunch, make it a family lunch. Even if it's just you and the baby at home and daddy's at work or whatever, you can still make it a, sit together, eat together time.
Absolutely. You're teaching them good habits through your lifestyle. So you want them to see how normal people sit at the table, how normal people eat, how normal people drink, how normal people arrange the food and use a knife and fork, etc. So there's a lot of good habits that can be built from mealtimes.
And stay positive, right? You don't stress out about it. I know it's very easy to say and very difficult to actually not feel anxious about something, right? Because once you're anxious about something, it kind of grabs hold of you. But try to be aware of your feelings and try to kind of stay positive about it, especially because children can sense the relationship with the food, right? If you're feeling anxious about the food, the child may be feeling anxious about the food. If you're, bringing lunch on the table thinking, oh my God, he's not going to eat anything again, and I'm just going to have to take it all back, and he's just going to play with it for 10 minutes. They can sense that kind of negativity, and they may do just what you expect them to do. So be open-minded. Bring it in, with a lot of positivity, with, smile on your face, and just enjoy it together and see what that
well, togetherness is quite an important point, because you can, as the kids get a little bit older, so Jazzy's now 2.5, you can look at preparing food together. Which gets the child interested in the whole process of making food.
Even younger kids can do that. Even 1.5 years. You get these learning towers now. You can buy a learning tower, which is basically like a
learning tower.
Learning tower is like a tall stool that has like railings around it so that the child doesn't fall off it. And so like Jasmine gets on that stool next to the bench. You get the same thing for younger children. Which is safe enough for them so they don't fall off it. And they stand on the stool and they can reach comfortably onto the bench and they can help you cook, right? So what they can do, they can chop a banana with a plastic knife, or they can throw fruit into the hole of the blender, right? When you're making a smoothie, if they're not scared of the sound. Or things like that. Things that, whisk the eggs or whatever. And so they like to be involved. And they will be more likely to eat it if they're involved in cooking. I mean, 15 months is still a very, very little baby, but they're beginning to grasp all these things. So it's not a bad idea to start early.
Yeah, prepare the meals together, then you get a chance to kind of own the food and maybe name the food. You can, if the children won't eat healthy food directly, you can eat it indirectly. You can prepare kinds of dips and things on the side that they can eat. You can try to point. Do you want to say
one more thing? Yes, I just remembered that I had a problem with Zora. With eating when she was teething, okay? So it's good to check out whether they're teething or not. She might, the baby, I don't know if it's a he or she, may have molars coming out, right? So that's why they may be a bit more fussy about eating. Also, check out if the child's not breastfed, check out how much milk they're drinking, okay? Because Zora would drink like a full bottle of milk at 10 o'clock, and then she was not hungry at all at 12, right? So see what else they're getting into their system.
Yeah, we're also not saying that there can't be some other issue or some other problem there. So there's nothing wrong with visiting your doctor, you know, checking out your child's stomach, checking out that they're processing the food okay, because there are well-known digestive issues and problems that a lot of children have.
Yes, there absolutely there can be a medical problem. There can be a lower, what do you call it, food intolerances and stuff that can affect everything. So it is a good idea to do that. But first, I would get the doctor to do tests. Okay, just simple tests, just iron deficiency, any vitamin deficiencies there could be, and then if they don't know, and if you feel like nothing's working and there's going to be a problem and the baby's losing weight, then maybe go further on and check it out with a specialist.
Yeah, get advice from not just one source. Get second opinions, get third opinions. It can take time to find solutions to problems. Other things you can do with... sorry, you want to say something?
You know, I was always an iron deficient child. And my mother had exactly the same problem with me. And they only found out about the iron deficiency when I started passing out on the bus.
That's not healthy.
Yeah, I know. So, I'm not saying this to scare anybody, okay? I lived with it until I started passing out, which was in puberty, really. So, and then my doctor decided to cure it by telling me to drink more coffee. Anyway.
Did that help?
Not with the iron deficiency. It helped with my blood pressure, so I didn't pass out anymore.
Kept you awake.
Yeah, but that's why I ended up binging on sugar, because my mom didn't have what else to give me to eat, because I didn't want to eat anything, so she just gave me sweet stuff. And she was just about as desperate as the person who wrote there. I was also very sensitive to the texture of the food. You know, I couldn't eat chewy meats and things that just didn't feel right in my mouth. I still don't like that. So
yeah, absolutely.
Sensory things. Kids are very sensory. It really matters to them what texture things have. So
yeah, try to keep the meals regular. Try to set.
That's a good point.
It's hard to be exactly precise with the time, but have your breakfast within a 2-hour period. Have your lunch, between 11 to 1. Have your evening meal around about a set time, if possible. Obviously, you have other routines and things, and some days may be slightly different, but these regular habits will become positive customs for the children over time.
Yes, but at the same time, don't force them. If they decide not to eat at that set time, just let it slide. Just let it go, right? I mean, all of my kids have days that they just leave out a meal, right? They just decide, I'm not having lunch, I'm not hungry. I'm like, well, okay, you're not hungry. You're not hungry, you'll be hungry for dinner. And I've seen Zora not eating for 2 days and then just catching up on the third day, eating like 4 people, right? So
okay, super. Yes, all of these little things make big differences. Don't try to stress out too much. Definitely don't lose your temper over it. It's not worth it. Other little things, turn off distractions. Make sure you're not eating when the radio's on or the TV's on. Your eating should be a connected time, not a...
You know what's funny? Turning off distractions does heighten the awareness, and it creates a positive habit. But actually, having a distraction for the kid, if you just need to stuff them with food, right, like they don't want to eat, and you want them to eat more, and you can distract them and kind of feed them while they're not watching, and they're like eating automatically, like when you're watching a telly in the evening, right, and you eat automatically and you don't even realize, and you've eaten a full bag of crisps, right?
Oh, so you're saying like sneak it in there?
It's
when they're not
it's a
expecting
sneaky
it.
way. It's not a good idea because it does not create positive habits for the future. It's kind of a lazy solution, okay, for the absolutely totally desperate parent.
Yeah, but if it works, it works, right?
Yeah,
And you can't really argue with that.
Yes, there you go. So yeah, it's I wouldn't really recommend it, but if nothing else working and I'm desperate, then I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. So try to keep try to keep a focus on the food in the mealtime. Try to keep a positive atmosphere around mealtime. Make the meal an offer to the child. Don't force them to eat it. Try to make it fun. You see what the marketers do with a lot of food for kids. They make it a game. They make it fun, so you can make it fun.
And make it look like a teddy bear and stuff like that.
Yeah. Don't always give the same thing. Try to put in a variety of different foods there, and always seek out help and advice on the internet. There's lots of forums where you can ask people. And don't be afraid to explore some different ideas and get a variety of opinions. Not just one thing from one place, from one source. Try to explore other avenues and other possibilities. So one other final thing, because we could talk about this all day, and we don't have all day.
Yes.
One other thing is, I was looking at the question, and it's she keeps playing, and we've already said that kind of play is okay.
Yes, that's
normal.
Okay.
That's okay. That's normal. And
that's how they learn at this age.
And if you look at the question carefully, it's usually people begin with something which is key to them. It might not be the main thing, but it's key to them. I can't sleep. The person says, I cannot sleep because I'm worried. What is the actual issue? Is the actual issue the food, or the fact that you're perhaps unfocused because your sleep patterns are not in place there because of your worry?
I would say that the writer, the asker of the question is experiencing anxiety connected to the worry, and about the well-being of their child.
And if you're anxious around meal times, the kids are going to be anxious as well.
That's what I already mentioned. Yeah, the kids are going to pick it up, and it may actually be what adds on to the problem. So it can as well be just the phase, right? It can just be teething.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
So
we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, don't be anxious. That doesn't help anything. Just chill, solve the problem, okay? Do what we said. If nothing works, have it checked, have it tested, ask another pediatrician for their opinion, and see what happens.
Absolutely. Stay positive about the whole situation. A lot of problems do exist, but they don't exist forever. They exist for short periods of time. And that's about it. If you want more information about what we do, we run the Practical Parenting Podcast and Amazing Parenting Online, the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching, YouTube and Facebook. You are...
I am a 21st Century Mum, spelled MUM.com.
The pumpkins are being rolled around the flat in the background.
Yeah, we better go and carve the pumpkins.
Oh, well, look at what they're doing there. That's kind of cool.
Wow, that's a pumpkin picnic. I love it.
They're making a pumpkin
They only have 3
picnic
pumpkins, though. They're going to miss one.
Well, there are other ones that they can acquire
the little
from
ones,
different places. Yeah. So, if you've got any questions, write them in the chat. If you enjoyed any part of the video, share. Please share. Give a thumbs up. Give a like. Give a heart. Whatever. We will speak to you again very soon. So wherever you are, have a great day, and do it done. So bye from us. Bye. Where are the hands going? Over there? This way? That way? Okay, somewhere there's a finish button. Somewhere. It's all up there. Okay. There we go.